Now let's get to an exclusive interview. It's 1 year this week since the Italian luxury company Salvatore Ferragamo made headlines with the appointment of a new chief executive. Ferragamo, known for making shoes for Audrey Hepburn, has struggled to refresh its look in recent years. Now, adding to the challenges is the escalating US-China trade war and protests in Hong Kong, which are hitting sales in the region. It's a very long to-do list for the CEO, but luckily she brings 20 years of experience from her role as CFO of Kering's Gucci brand. Well, Micaela, the Divelec, Lemmi, Chief Executive of Salvatore Ferragamo, welcome to Surveillance. Thank you so much for dropping by whilst you're in London. First of all, give me a sense of how worried you are, Micaela, about these trade concerns between the US and China and how they're impacting your business.
Well, thank you, Francine, for inviting me in this astonishing place. Dana, the wake up this morning has been pretty much astonishing, looking around and seeing on the press what's happening in the trade war and how it has been waking up again. I believe that we have to stand and to stay consistent with our strategy. So the situation in this moment is so fluid that it's very difficult to make any kind of anticipation. What is more important, I believe, is to keep the vision, to keep the focus, and to stay consistent. As you know, Salvatore Ferragamo is producing and has the entire supply chain based in Italy, and this is one of our core values, and we want to keep this as a core asset of the company, and this will not change whatever will be the impact of the trade war. We need to keep this and to keep alive the values of the brand and the messages that we have been delivering, and keep a strong focus on the implementation of our strategy.
How much have your sales in China been affected because of the trade war, and how much have they been affected in Hong Kong because of the protests?
I would say that as of the end of June, which has been the latest data that we have been announcing a few days ago, we didn't perceive any major impact from the Hong Kong protest. It is true that the protests are continuing, and this is it's very hard to make any prediction about when it will last and how it will last in a way. So we are working and focusing particularly on all the local customers, considering that this could be also our duty to take care of our consumer and to take care of the people that we have been engaging with. As much as the trade war, the impact that we saw in the first semester has been related to some repatriation of the purchases, but it remains an habit of the Chinese consumer, the fact of buying abroad. So it will be a matter of understanding where they will move, because in a way there will remain some countries around affected by the movement of the Chinese consumer.
So what does that mean concretely, Micaela? Does it mean that you're either opening stores or actually adding stock to the stores that you think will do better because the people that were holidaying in Hong Kong or buying Hong Kong would buy somewhere else?
But actually what's happening is that the mainland Chinese are reducing their travel to Hong Kong. So they are planning, most probably, this is the current outlook, because we don't have visibility except for the beginning of the month of July, to stay in mainland China. So there is a possibility that they will buy in their own country of residence. On the other side, it is true that we have Hong Kongese customer, local customer, very healthy customer, and with an engagement and a strong loyalty with the brand. So we need also to engage with them and to take care of them.
I want to talk a little bit about your products, about things that you control. But first, is there a way of hedging currency swings? I mean, there's it's quite a difficult world to navigate, of things that are outside of your control. Is there anything as a chief executive of a big luxury brand that you can do to mitigate some of that impact?
In terms of currency impact, we have in place a policy for hedging the currency, which is a policy which has been established in the course of the year, and we are keeping it alive, particularly in this moment where the fluctuation of currency can really affect the P&L and the financials of the company. So this is a policy that is allowing us to anticipate the coverage, and is a policy that is allowing us to mitigate in a way the discrepancy, but in any case to anticipate based on the trading of the various currency.
You've been in charge for 12 months. What have your priorities been, and what will they be in the next 12 months? How much are you going to spend on marketing? How much is it trying to sell some of your products to the millennial?
I think that the balance that I'm starting to do, because after 1 year is the right timing to make a balance, is that it's what has been really important, I think, and it has been fundamental, has been the number of talent that I founded into the company. So this has been a good basis in order to build up a vision and a long-term strategy, which is what we are currently working in terms of implementation. As a matter of fact, we started to focus and to concentrate on the design of messages from a marketing and communication that we believe needs to communicate the brand on one side, so the brand values, and the product on the other side, and to keep these messages consistent along the season.
But how difficult is that? I mean, the consumer's fickle. There's like 1 million products out there. There's 1 million shoe companies. There's 1 million luxury clothes companies that you can choose from. How do you separate from everything else?
I believe that the way of separating is to express our own point of view. So what we don't want to be is to be a follower. We appointed at the end of March a creative director in the person of Paul Andrew, who is a British talent, and we have been working in order to together under the creative vision of Paul to design a distinctive point of view. We do believe that in this world what we can communicate are the values of the brand in a way that could be perceived as contemporary by the contemporary consumer. And this is what we are trying to do with the millennials, with different messages to be delivered to the different age range of consumer.
And we look at when you look at the region, so you look at the US, you look at Latin America, you look at Europe and Asia that we touched on. Where do you think that there's more strength? I mean, Europe is in a tricky situation as well.
It is. I believe that we currently have opportunities also in the more mature market like Europe and the US. The brand has lost a little bit of track and traction in these markets, and so what we would like to do is to get on track on this market as well, and to recover the connection with the younger generation like the millennial, but even more than the millennial, we have to start to look at the Generation Z, because we do believe that this is a generation that is really looking for some values and for authenticity, and these are two aspects that we think we will be able to deliver as a brand.
How are you planning for a possible no-deal Brexit? Do you have to stockpile? Is it the same exercise that you had to do at the end of March?
It's this is hard to predict, considering that there are not clear rules yet defined. The point is that we would like to try to anticipate any potential problem as much as the other luxury brand will do. So we are looking for the possibility of trying in a way to accelerate some of the deliveries in order to make the market in a condition of getting over the Brexit and then to recover later on. For the time being, to be honest, what we hope is that the rules will be clear and we will be able to manage, but on the other side we are trying to anticipate some potential plan B.
We have a viewer question, so we keep on, of course, asking you to write questions in. Just use the IB provided looking at TV Go. And this person is asking in, Micaela, do you have any strategic concerns about availability of raw materials for your products? And do you see technology changing the materials that you use?
We don't have in this moment any concern about availability of raw materials. It is true that we need to start looking also to an evolution in terms of research of materials. We just created a new department, Digital and Innovation, which has the aim of helping in bringing the digital culture across the company and enhancing all the digital move, and on the other side to try to facilitate a way of research and a way of looking forward in terms of new materials, in terms of technology, how the technology can deal with the craftsmanship, which is the big, in a way, tension that we have to plan and to work with the company.